The Mandalorian Season 2 is in full swing. That means we're back this week with another chapter review, and oh boy, if you've watched this one already, it is fantastic. We're going to be diving in here and checking out all the juicy details. Hello everyone, my name is Captain Jack, and welcome to Star Wars Now. The third episode of The Mandalorian Season 2, otherwise known as Chapter 11, is out now and streaming on Disney+, which means of course we had to jump in and review it because oh my, this is simply fantastic. Now, I'm going to be diving into spoilers, and to be honest with you, the title is kind of a spoiler to what appears or who appears in this episode. So if you've not watched it yet, and you want to remain spoiler-free, turn away now. This is your only warning. We'll be discussing spoilers in full detail as we break down this episode. Okay, that was your warning. Here goes. Before we do, if you're new around here, make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from myself and the Star Wars Now team. We're super excited to be chatting everything about The Mandalorian right now and can't wait to make more videos as we end off 2020 going into 2021. Okay, let's jump into this. This is the way. Chapter 11 is titled The Heiress. It's the third episode of the second season. Now, this episode was directed by Bryce Dallas Howard. Now, they've directed a couple of episodes before. The writer is obviously Jon Favreau, who's written the majority of the episodes of this season, believe it or not. But yeah, it's nice to have him back writing again. This episode, wow, it was fantastic. Now, I'm going to be breaking it down, chatting about certain scenes, but I think the first thing we need to discuss, one of the first things actually before we jump into the big one, is we finally got to see Sasha Banks' character, otherwise known as Mercedes Varnado. They were playing the character of Koska Reeves, who is a Mandalorian, part of the Night Owl Pact, and obviously we've seen him in a trailer before. A lot of us were theorizing this was going to be Sabine Wren. No, it wasn't, but it was revealed later it's Koska Reeves, another Mandalorian, who is accompanying Bo-Katan Kryze. Lady Bo-Katan of the planet of Mandalore, they were accompanying them. They do appear in this episode, and oh boy, seeing the armor in live action was fantastic. After years of watching Bo-Katan in the Clone Wars and then Star Wars Rebels, and then very recently in the latest Clone Wars season, it was great to see her in live action, and I love the way the Star Wars galaxy is currently being weaved together and entwined to create that sort of like, you know, almost like MCU things in a way where you can follow one character through different series and watch them pop up. It is fantastic. Honestly, I loved it. Hats off to Jon Favreau and Bryce Dallas Howard for bringing this episode alive and bringing these characters alive as well. Really was fantastic. So before I do dive into, obviously, nerding out more of these certain characters, etc., let's just talk about the overall episode. To be honest with you, this episode was a lot better than probably episode 2 for me, definitely, because episode 2 was a bit of a filler episode. I hate to call it that, but it is what it is. It was a filler episode in a way. It was using as a bridge to get from point A to point B, which is totally fine. It's just I prefer just to cut straight to the chase. Sometimes slowing down and appreciating this is worthwhile in a way, because I think having this, you know, if we backed this episode straight to episode 1, might be a bit overwhelming in a way. So the hype is definitely here, and I think Disney are doing this on purpose in a way, or at least Lucasfilm are. It's on like, we had the hype of Cobb Vanth in chapter 9, and then we had not really much in chapter 10. Now we have the hype of Bo-Katan in chapter 11, and also Moff Gideon did appear again. Giancarlo Esposito reappeared at the end there, and I love his little catchphrase of "Long live the Empire." And I'm going to chat about this a bit more in a minute, because I have a feeling his phrase there of "Long live the Empire" does fit into some other stuff we know about the Star Wars universe. Now, obviously, the big thing is, obviously, the Mandalorian, Din Djarin, travels to Trask to deliver the Frog Lady, who eventually meets with her husband. Mon Calamari and Quarren are around here. It seems to be a planet that is inhabited by their species. Not entirely sure if Trask is related to the current planets they're on, or something like that, but I'm not sure. Anyway, they're there, and we get this little sequence of them going off in a boat, so Din Djarin can go and meet other Mandalorians. But this is a Mandalorian, and it's Disney, so it doesn't go to plan, and they try and feed the kid to some giant thing which is called the Momothma or something like that. Some species which is hidden below, or the Mammacore, that's what it is. There we go. I had to check the subtitles. And I'm like, what the hell's going on here? This is really weird. And obviously, that's when the Night Owls come to rescue them. Really cool seeing the Night Owls again. Honestly, it's been ages since we've seen them there. And obviously, the big one is Koska Reeves, who is played by, you know, Sasha Banks, aka Mercedes Varnado. Now, obviously, we saw them in the trailer. Many of us were originally thinking this was going to be Sabine Wren. Now, when I woke up this morning, I stupidly looked on Twitter and saw somebody referencing the latest Mandalorian episode by saying fans of Rebels are going to want to watch this episode. So I thought, damn, that's Sabine Wren. A little bit of a spoiler, but no, it was a pleasant surprise. It wasn't Sabine Wren. Would I have hoped it was? To be honest with you, no, in a way. It made sense that Koska Reeves was their own character in a way. So I enjoyed that a lot more, and it made a lot of sense, because I already liking this character, and I can't wait to see where she goes, you know, with Lady Bo-Katan Kryze. Hopefully, Bo-Katan is going to reappear at some point in this season, if not next season. The way this is being pitched is she is definitely out on a hunt to find the Darksaber, which we know Moff Gideon has. However, the Mandalorian doesn't know he has the Darksaber. Not many people really do. It appears some of his Imperial captains do, as the Imperial captain who's played by Titus Welliver, who eventually committed suicide by, his like poison dart or electro poison, whatever you'd call that, basically said, if you're asking that question, you already have the answer. So I think some of his lieutenants obviously do, but does everyone else? No, because at the end of Mandalorian Season 1, obviously Gideon cuts himself out of his crashed TIE Outlander and, reveals himself with Darksaber to all of us, the viewers. However, the characters such as the Mandalorian do not know he wields the Darksaber at the minute. Hell, does the Mandalorian even know what a lightsaber is? That's my question here. Because he didn't know what Jedi were, so is he going to know what lightsabers are? Maybe even know what a Darksaber is, so that's why he didn't react. I was like, when I was watching this first time around, I was like, but the Mandalorian knows he has a Darksaber, and I had to think, actually, he doesn't, because he's not seen him with it. I reckon later on this season, we will see Gideon wielding the Darksaber, but let's quickly talk about the sequence there. When the freighter captain, who's played by Titus Welliver, basically hails Gideon and saying, we need reinforcements, and he's basically captured, the cargo hold and most of the ship, Gideon basically goes, the ship's already lost, reinforcements are no longer an option, you know what you need to do. And the captain basically responds, yes, I do, long live the Empire. That bit there, long live the Empire, it really suggests they're cutting their losses and trying their best to save the Empire right now. Gideon is a very well-calculated man. That's the vibe I'm getting from his character. He's not a one-dimensional villain in a way, there is definitely a lot more to him. So hopefully we're going to see more of his grand plan later on. It's well known by this point, but he does have some new toy to play with this season. I reckon it's going to be an Imperial Star Destroyer or something of that similar size, because even him or Gino Esposito revealed that he does have a new toy or a new vehicle to play with. A lot of us are theorizing it might be AT-ATs or stuff like that. Honestly, I reckon it's a Star Destroyer, given the background promo shots we've seen him in. So yeah, he could have rendered reinforcements and meet with a fleet. So the captain mentions meeting with a fleet. It's well known Gideon has a fleet now, or at least some sort of armada, or even battle group in a way. He's a Moff. He's definitely going to have ships. And how does he get his forces around everywhere? He's definitely going to have ships, etc. The whole long live the Empire thing, with the captain shot his 2 lieutenants by almost suiciding with Gazanti. Really cool sequence there. I thought he was going to put it off for a minute, but no, they didn't. Luckily, the Mandalorians broke in there and, saved the ship. Honestly, seeing Mandalorians charging corridors and working together, I absolutely love this series. I'll be the first to say it now, it was fantastic. I love the Mandalorians running up a corridor, shooting stormtroopers. This is the Star Wars we want. I hope Mandalorian continues with 7 seasons, as it's absolutely fantastic. Honestly, the day the show's end is going to be a sad day, because what we're getting right now, tying in with, auxiliary Star Wars media as well, like with Bo-Katan, is fantastic. The show is incorporating other elements of the universe while still keeping itself contained in its own story. These characters just pass through. I fully expect Ahsoka Tano will pass through the Mandalorian. She won't be a center point of the show, and shouldn't be. The reason for that is because, Mandalorian needs to be his own character. He doesn't need a cool Jedi, which we all know and love, stealing the limelight. They just need to pop in for one episode and leave again. That's kind of the best way to do it. Similar to how Bo-Katan here is. For a minute, I thought Bo-Katan would escort the Mandalorian or Din to, Ahsoka Tano, but instead, no, that's not what's happening. And I'm kind of grateful for that, because they've got their own mission to continue out. Well, the Mandalorian's got his own mission as well. He's protecting the child and escorting them around. That is his mission. The Mandalorians and everyone else in the galaxy, they have their own mission as well, so it makes perfect sense. My next question is, do you reckon the next episode, so chapter 12, I wonder if this next episode is going to be a jump episode again or a filler episode? What I mean by that is at the end of end of chapter 11, Din turns around to the child and goes, it's going to be a bumpy ride. My hope is that this isn't going to be another passing episode, so another we've crashed on this planet, better repair the ship and jump again, because that's seriously going to drag, I think. Hopefully not, but yeah. I mean, chapter 12 is directed by Carl Weathers, who obviously played Grief Karga in Season 1 and will return to play Grief Karga in Season 2. So, I don't know. I feel like it's going to be because Carl Weathers is directing it, but I will wait and see. Because, we still got a couple of chapters left, easy. We've got chapter 13, chapter 14, 15, and 16, I believe. So we've got a good couple of chapters left, so there's plenty of room for a filler episode. I just hope they don't do it, because we're really on to a winner right now, and keeping us fans away from Ahsoka for that long, that's a dangerous and shrewd game we're playing right there. Honestly, we're all desperate to see Ahsoka Tano right now. I think every fan of The Mandalorian in the Star Wars universe wants to see live-action Ahsoka Tano. We're all waiting for that. So keeping us waiting any longer, that is really going to be a deadly game. So good luck to the Disney Plus people and Jon Favreau. Really going to be a hard one there. But overall, finishing off this review, my thoughts on this episode, fantastic episode. Honestly, Bryce Dallas Howard has done a fantastic job in directing this episode. Jon Favreau has written a fantastic episode. And obviously the actors and actresses, fantastic roles as well. The story context fit really well. I saw a few complaints this episode was rather short. That is the benefit of online streaming via Disney Plus and CBS All Access, etc. In this episode, yeah, it could have been longer, but it didn't need to be. The story was good and well contained, and honestly, once again, I find myself lost in the universe. I was like, oh, it's over? Wow, feels like I've been sat here for ages. but in a good way, if that makes sense. I lost track of time, which to me is always a signal that the episode's good. If I'm losing track of time and not checking the count or anything, it means I'm really enjoying it and I'm losing myself in the program, which is Mandalorian Chapter 11 here. So I enjoyed it. Do let me know what you thought down below in the comment section. Was this episode too long? Was it too short? Do let me know what you thought. And of course, your opinions on Chapter 11 as a whole, we definitely want to hear them. For now, I've been Captain Jack here on Star Wars Now. I do hope you enjoyed our video review today, and remember, if you are new around here and wanting to stay up to date with the latest Star Wars news, lore and more, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video. We'll be reviewing episodes of The Mandalorian as they air each Friday, so stay tuned for that. If you've got any topics you'd like us to discuss, leave a comment down below in the comment section. As mentioned, for now I've been Captain Jack here on Star Wars Now, and we'll see you next time. May the Force be with you.